The Fishing News is sponsored by these fine partners.
Plug builder Cesar Carranza buttoned up to a good fish earlier this week somewhere off the North Jersey coast. Live bait on a circle hook with not a single other boat to be found. Of course, it was a bit foggy on Tuesday, so I couldn't have seen them if they were around. Yes, that telltale woo means it must be the Manny method. Live eels drifted near the surface under planer boards. It drives the big girls mad, even amidst all that bait moving along inshore waters, the adult bunker, the peanuts, the rainfish. Dad and I sneaked off with Chuck and Caesar aboard the Tie Man to do a little striper tagging. Woo! An epic day on the striper grounds with Hutch Sr. making memories with great friends. Woo! Jim Hutchinson, New Jersey, Delaware Bay edition of the Fisherman magazine. It's October 27th, and we're looking ahead towards the Halloween weekend. An excellent time to enjoy a little family fishing, personal bests, and a lifetime of memories on the striper grounds. Just like the Fiorentino boys, Captain Phil Jr. and son Patty, enjoying some time along the Raritan Bay aboard their brand new 20-foot Jones Brothers light tackle edition. There with the tackle box. An epic topwater bite this past Sunday with big bass hitting everything they threw, according to Phil. That included the metal lips, the NLBN shads, Jigging World bone stick baits, flutter spoons, and the fish or die broomstick eels. Truth be told, word is that the boat traffic on the Raritan Bay on Saturday was so heavy that the stripers got a little bit cagey. Again, from the intro portion of this week's video fishing forecast proves that sometimes it helps to just get the heck away from the fleet. Although, of course, finding the fleet might be a good place to start in your particular day of striper fishing. We'll run down the coast in just a moment, the entire striper run, inside and out. But first, I mentioned our striped bass tagging efforts earlier. The November edition of the Fisherman magazine is out this week. It went to print on Sunday night. Look for the Tog cover by Zach Mincho for the New Jersey, Delaware Bay edition of that magazine. And when you turn to the glossy table of contents, you'll see what we have included in this month's edition on those slick colored pages. It includes Tog, the best coastal striper bites, sand eel stripers, and locking into your favorite wreck or snag in the months ahead as you chase black sea bass on now, and Tog, which of course we're going to get that up in bag limit here at the Jersey Shore in the middle of November. Now on page 18G, a quick look at the Nantucket Shoals. That's the article I wrote. Nantucket Shoals is where so many of our sat tag stripers have spent their summer months before heading back to the Jersey Shore for the fall run. And in that article, you'll see that light bulb looking thing there on the fish that's held by Bobby Bowden, that jumbo striper there. The mini pat device that helps gray fish tag research tracking the data on these striped bass that we've been tagging along the Jersey and New York and now the Maryland coast as well. All the details in that November edition, but we just tagged a fish on Chuck Manny's boat, Tie Man, earlier this week. And by the way, we just came up with the fish name. It's named Berkeley, in honor of the striper club of the same name that has contributed so generously to our study. So thank you to you guys at the Berkeley Striper Club. This tag that's out there along the Jersey coast somewhere right now, it is named in your honor. We will be tackling all of our sponsors' names in the coming months and years. We still have a couple of tags to go this fall. So again, that November edition, pick it up and be sure to subscribe. If you're not already a subscriber to the Fisherman magazine, you're not getting delivered to your home as I am this week, and you're also not registered to win a new Steiger 23 Miami powered by a Yamaha 200 in the Fisherman magazine's Dream Boat Fishing Challenge. So who's in the lead now, Tim?
What a week for past Dreamboat winner Sam Dibner of Woodbury, Connecticut. Sam entered a 16.75-pound bluefish, adding 10 points to his total, earning him the first place bluefish position. He racked up another 9 points for a 12.9-pound blackfish. Keep in mind that past Dreamboat grand prize winners are not eligible to win the grand prize again. If Sam remains in first place at the end of the competition, the second place contestant would be the grand prize winner, and in that case, Sam would assume second place. The standings are now Sam Dibner with 34 points, Rob Carazana with 21, Dean Paiella with 15, and Garrett Weir with 14. The Dreamboat Fishing Challenge is the Fisherman subscriber-only multi-species fishing competition with a chance to win a new Steigercraft 23 Miami powered by Yamaha, along with many other great prizes. Visit thefisherman.com to subscribe and get all the details so you can be part of the action.
Hey everybody, just going to give you a quick rundown on what's going on the Coastal Kayak Clash this week. We only had one fish entered. That was a 26.25-inch blackfish entered by Eric Lopez, which is good enough for third place in the category. The top three in the tournament have not changed. We got Tom Hode holding down third place with 6 points, Bob Wagner holding down second place with 7 points, and Justin Oser still leading the world with 11 points.
Yeah, so the Raritan Bay has been hot, and it should remain that way through November into December. And as more stripers arrive from the east, and perhaps also from the north, Long Island Sound, through Hellgate, down the East River, that action should continue. It's only going to improve in the coming days and weeks. And if you look at the Raritan Bay as a big bucket filled with fish, at some point we're going to get an overflow, and those bass are going to be following the baits around the hook and down the Jersey Shore, and hopefully through Atlantic and Cape May County and down along the Delaware coast this season. We can only keep our fingers crossed. But that action is starting to pick up down for the northern stretch. Matt Quinn of Brick was aboard the Queen Mary on Friday, had a great day, and Matt said, quote, "I have never seen so many bunker. They were like an oil slick, Asbury Park to the Highlands." So yeah, that's the entire northern Monmouth County stretch. Along the beaches there, Nick Barrera and his buddy Rich got on them over the weekend. He had responded to what we were talking about a couple of weeks ago with the live line and bunker. He said, "I got him on the plug." Rich got him on a popper. Nick was tossing a no live bait needed swim shad. That's the NLBN. In fact, Cody Williams used a swim shad off Belmar by boat this week, a personal best of 48 inches and somewhere in the 40-pound range of bunker-colored shad. That's the word from Cody. Now, Kirk Robinson, on the other hand, said it was a snagged bunker transferred over to a circle hook aboard the FOL with Captain Parker John on Saturday that did the trick on this catch-and-release striper of 50 inches. So yeah, there are striped bass and bunker schools down the beach into Ocean County as well, of course. Jason Knight and Ben Patterson were fishing with Nick DeFumia last week, someplace off of Seaside, Point Pleasant. He was a little evasive of exactly where, but live bunker on Gamakatsu 10-0 circle hook. And if you're working the beaches at dusk and dawn, throwing everything in your bag without any luck, you might think of maybe doing a little bit of night creeping, like Grant Johnson here somewhere on LBI caught and tagged this fish with the Stockton University striped bass tags that were provided by the folks at the American Littoral Society. So look for those tags. I know the Berkeley Striper Club, they have their own tags. And of course we have those gray fish tag research tags. They're green spaghetti tags. Look for them in a fish near you coming soon. I'm mentioning all these lures. Of course, bunker chunks are taking a few fish as well along the Jersey Shore at this point, especially along the LBI beaches for the LBI Surf Fishing Classic. Rick Anderson took over the first segment lead earlier this week with a 17.14-pound slot striper. That was on a bunker chunk somewhere in Harvey Cedars, he said, weighed in over with the folks at Surf City Bait and Tackle. Now, as we continue to move to our south, the South Jersey reports in the November edition that were just compiled on Sunday, our field editor Anthony Califano, he had a lot to report. He noted that some of those migratory stripers may have pulled into the Little Egg or Absecon Inlet area as of last week. In fact, our shops in Tuckerton, Bass River, Port Republic, and Absecon all report that a large body of stripers invaded the Mullica River with fish to 49 inches, reportedly taken on live eels, live spot, live perch, jigging, and also on the troll. There's been plenty of bonus slot fish caught in there, as well as the legitimate keeper size, predominantly from 28 to 36 inches. That's according to Anthony. Now, south of this area, Anthony had reported it's mostly catch and release stripers, as resident stripers are on the feed in the back bays of Atlantic City down into Cape May County. I did get a message from Vinny D saying he's been catching some bass in the back behind Summers Point. And that echoed the words we're getting from the shops there, including Waterfront Marine in Summers Point and the folks at Fanatics over in Ocean City. Now, checking in with Rick and crew at Pier 47 Marina, they said stripers are moving all along the areas out back in the wildwoods, chasing what they said was the last of the peanuts. In fact, successful anglers are fishing 4-inch rubber shads on half-ounce jig heads. Of course, the storm shads, the tsunami molded shads as well. But they said, Pier 47 said, tight is right. That means the fish are heading, they're holding close to the structure, be it the sod banks, the bridges, the bulkheads, any of the dock pilings as well. High tide has been best, as is the 2-hour window there after high tide, as the high tide starts rushing out of the creeks and all that bait starts rushing out. By the way, if you want a chance to keep one of those smaller slot fish, the 24 to less than 28-inch size, that is the unused commercial quota in the state of New Jersey. You typically have one opportunity to do that, one fish with your tag. This is the last that you can qualify to get one of those bonus tags. The program comes to an end as far as getting tags at the end of this month. So the deadline is closing. The link is on the screen. There are so many letters and numbers in that HTML, that domain address. All you have to do is Google New Jersey bonus striper and you get all the details so that you can get in on that. Got a great report from reader Dave Pavelko, who said there was no problem for the shorebound anglers when boats were stopped because of foul weather. He said there were keeper tog for those willing to put up with the wind and light showers when it occurs. Less competition, he said, of course. He had short order getting a keeper 16 inches after only a couple of short fish were released. I'm hearing a lot about that in some of the other locations from Terra Firma as well. But Dave also reported on a lot of small sea bass with a few keepers mixed in, along with still some triggerfish as of last week at the Cape May reef site. Now, like I said, wherever those jetties may be found in the Garden State down into Delaware, you'll find those tog if you're looking to score from shore. I'm hearing of a lot of tog being caught in Barnegat Light at the South Jetty, hearing some great action from Noel at One Stop Bait and Tackle of the Atlantic City area. Of course, you can find that action all the way down into Cape May County, down into the Indian River Inlet, where we're getting some of the same reports from the jetty fishermen down there. Of course, 'tis the season, not just for tog, but all those fat Alberts, aka false albacore, or albies. They're chasing smaller rain baits up top. Matt Lassell, aka Matty Fish, shot this video and said you can find some stellar fishing around those blitzing schools of fish. Drag screaming, rod bending, tackle testing speedsters when tossing the exo jigs, the epoxy jigs, and the deadly dicks. Now, the problem, of course, with everything I've just said up to this point is weather. In fact, according to the good folks at NOAA Weather midweek, it's more tricks than treats this weekend. A little nor'easter begins to whip things up on Thursday, carries things through Sunday. According to that midweek forecast, what this may mean is a switch from getting ready to throw some of those other plugs. I can't wait. Caesar Saranza hooked me up with one of his glide baits. Still has the protection on the hooks. But we are getting into that time of year. We're expecting the peanut blitzes along the way. I believe that's a Luna metal lip, those smaller metal lips, an old style, a right plug that looks just like those peanut bunker. But hopefully on the back end of this nor'easter that we're getting this week, this weekend ahead, think about what we spoke about early October after that terrible spate of weather we had. Things laid down immediately after, offshore winds, and everything just took fire. So hopefully after this nor'east weekend, we'll see some switches to the northwest winds, perhaps, push some of those peanut bunker out, and we'll start getting into some really good conditions, especially in advance of the next full moon, the beaver moon, on November 8th. So I'd say lock that in, just like we said at the beginning of October, and immediately after this northeast, let's hope to see some banner epic fishing along the Jersey Shore. Of course, it's not so good this weekend weather for those looking for a final score offshore. I would say congrats this week to Matt Florio, who, as reported by Ashley Viola in her Central Jersey report that's in the November edition of the Fisherman magazine, he weighed in a 78.15 pound longfin tuna, that albacore, at Hoffman's Marina in Brielle on Saturday. Now, that's a sizable true albacore that should eclipse the 38-year standing state record in New Jersey of 77 pounds 15 ounces. Matt's fish was caught on the Lunacy again on Saturday. One of the things that I find is so many people bring jumbo longfin in, the albacore, true albacore tuna, and don't think to have it weighed in. I've talked to a lot of people who said, yeah, I ate the albacore record. Well, Matt did too, but after he first registered that fish for a state record. If this up and down weather we're having reminds you that maybe it's time to start thinking about your winter getaway plans, keep Capos in Costa Rica in mind. The folks at Marina Pez Vela there in Capos, good friends of ours, partnered with the Fisherman magazine this year. They're offering a trip to their resort through the Dreamboat Fishing Challenge. You almost want to finish outside the leader, right? No, I think you want that Steiger. But I'll tell you what, I've got word from my friend Ben Gilmore at Jackpot Sport Fishing there at Marina Pez Vela, that the action there in Costa Rica continues to be off the hook.
Hey there guys, welcome to Costa Rica and the Marina Pez Vela. We got this week's fishing report. It's been a good old week down here. We had some nice variety going on. There's been a few sailfish, blue marlin, and yellowfin tuna further offshore. Some really nice tuna in the 50 to 60 pound range with a few bigger fish mixed in also. The mahi-mahi fishing has been good, really consistent at the moment. Most of the mahi have been between about 8 and 15 miles out. It's a nice easy fishing. You can even do it in a half day at this time of year. Inshore has not been the best recently. We've had a lot of rain for the rainy season, so the water's been quite murky inshore. But the inshore boats are still catching a few roosterfish, a few snappers and jacks, and a few other species as well. Always worth fishing down here in Costa Rica. It's really going to get cranking November, December. Our high season runs through to April. So hope to see you guys down here soon. This is Ben Gilmore, handing it back over to you guys.
La pura vida. Hey, the next meeting of the New Jersey Marine Fisheries Council will take place next Thursday, November 3rd at the Stafford Township Administrative Building. That's on 260 East Bay Avenue in Manahawkin, which of course is Lenape for Land of Good Corn. I swear, it seems somehow relevant this Halloween weekend. I'll be there at that meeting next week asking my regular batch of questions like, what about those missing council members? The deadline for submitting new applications to get onto that council was September 3rd or September 30th. So maybe Monmouth and Atlantic County anglers could perhaps get their own representation on that New Jersey Marine Fisheries Council sometime soon. I would also like to know more about our missing legislator at the Atlantic States Marine Fisheries Commission. That deliberative body comes to New Jersey the first week in November. That actually is November 7th. The ASMFC will be holding their 80th anniversary annual meeting in Long Branch, right in our home, and we're a man short, we're a woman short on the ASMFC. Governor Murphy, hello? Hello, anyone in there? We'll have more on that in next week's video fishing forecast. After this weekend ahead, you'll have 1 month of competition left in the Fisherman magazine's Dreamboat Fishing Challenge. And there's a battle for the top slot right now. Someone's gonna have to pull off a Harper-esque bottom of the 8th blast to make it a little bit more interesting. Of course, there's also the Coastal Kayak Clash, which has seen a few additional entries since our last report. Good luck to those in the hunt for a big win. As for the big wind, let's hope we're talking about some more epic striped bass action in next week's report right here at thefisherman.com.